On this episode, Dude, Brett, and Tyler host some previous guests at Topgolf to celebrate a major milestone for the podcast. Tune in to hear our thoughts on the industry and what it's been like through the years on this episode of The Bourbon Hunters. But before we get started, do you want to support our podcast? Do you like bourbon gear? Visit our website at www.bourbonhunters.com to buy some of our custom bourbon gear and support the podcast. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us on our hunt for great bourbon. Reward yourself and sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy. Welcome to another episode of the Bourbon Hunters. I am Duke Bull. I'm joined by
Brett Bryan,
Tyler Schaefer,
Same shop,
and JD. JD, how do you pronounce your last name? Friches.
Salinger.
Friches. So the
like the big boy Friches.
Friches.
JD Power and Associates, I believe it is.
There's currently 5 of us here. We are at Topgolf having a. So we're going to rotate. We're going to leave our headphones on when we're not hitting the ball. And we are going to
watch JD just be
have one person hit while the other 4 talk and conversate, even though it's not a word.
Say converse?
I know.
Good.
It's a running joke with my wife. There was a rap song that you call it a rap song? Anyway, there was a song that had the word conversate in it, and we would make fun of it, basically.
I think it's more spoken word poetry.
I think that's probably more accurate. But so this is a long time coming. We were doing this to celebrate our 100 download or 100,000 downloads. Which
I was about to say 100 downloads.
Yeah. So it's been a while, but we are there.
I mean, that was a triumph in itself. 100 downloads.
It was. It took us a few episodes to get to that. However, we decided to celebrate. It took us a little bit to get to Topgolf, but we're here. And I think we're going to have some people dropping in with us as we go. So what do you have in your glass, Tyler?
The same as you.
Woodford Reserve Wood Finishing Series 2023, the BEP.
Woodford Reserve.
Are you all fucked up? Are you all fucked up?
I might be fucked up. Well, we were
it's
talking
4
about
o'clock,
Woodford,
dude.
It's 4 o'clock. We were talking about Woodford Reserve upstairs.
He's been having a drink for every download leading up to 100,000.
I am at 999
drinks.
And I've got a lot to go. What are you drinking, Sam?
The Topgolf Old Fashioned.
Ooh, nice.
How is it?
Brett, you're drinking water.
I have the Topgolf water. That's on the rocks.
Is that
the Wajay?
Yes, on the rocks though.
All right, so let's use this kind of to just talk about memories of the podcast, I guess, leading up to now. And I'm going to leave it to you, Tyler, and how this all started for you. And then I'm going to
How it all started for you? I mean, well, we planned a trip to Kentucky for my birthday.
We did.
And you talked me into podcasting or recording on the way down for the episode, but you talked about it being something more than just recording. I said no. You gave me a hand job, and that's what did it.
That was the end of it. I tipped him over the top.
It tipped me over the top, and so that's how we got started, and we just kept going, and I've spent way too much time with you guys.
I'm gonna hit some balls now, and I'm gonna leave it to Brett to explain his entree.
Yeah, so for me, I think it started off as I was a guest on the episode during the pandemic. And if I remember correctly, the first episode I did with you guys was the Whiskey Row series. It was either that.
It was up in the loft.
The loft of the gym.
Of the gym.
It's hard to remember. It was either that or it was when I think early times bottled and bond. It was one of those two when that just got bought by Sazerac.
Ooh.
I can't remember, and we had tried that, but it was one of those two for sure. And then from there, I was slowly like a guest here and there. And then you guys invited me to the Bourbon Trail trip that you do for your birthday annually. And that was the first time I had done the Bourbon Trail. And it was a great time. Learned a shitload on that one and found a lot of interesting places like Lux Row, right?
Yeah.
I remember that was the first place we went, and I was kind of like, what the fuck is Lux Row? Like, I didn't know anything about it, right? I was very greenhorn. and all of that. And then I was like, that ended up being like one of my favorite places that we went was Lux Row. To this day, that's still one of the best tastings that we did because it was only like $25 if I remember.
Yeah.
But we got to sample fucking everything fantastic. It was like the Lux 12,
Blood Oath,
the Blood Oath, the Rebel 10-year, and then maybe the Ezra 7, old Ezra 7.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. And then they paired them with those chocolates and everything too. That still has been one of the best tastings that I've done.
For $25. Because
if you do that now, you don't get to taste all that good shit now by any means. So that's kind of, I guess, where I got my start with it. But that was great. And then I think I know we went to Buffalo Trace too, but maybe Lux Row wasn't the first stop we made, but it was an early stop. And I just remember being like, I was like, what is this place? And then
usually we would do Buffalo Trace on the way down, which they have a solid, I mean, it's free. So whatever they pour in the glass is going to be good.
Yeah.
But what I like about their recent offerings is they're, randomly starting to add in some of their higher end stuff, which is just awesome. I think the last time we were there was E.H. Taylor Small Batch was in there. And dude, what did you see recently that Buffalo Trace put in their free tasting? There was something really high end, like a BTAC or something like that.
No, it was the Weller Antique, or not the Weller Antique, the Weller William LaRue. I can't talk. William LaRue Weller.
Did they put that? Put that in there. Holy fuck!
Yes. I remember that very vividly because I was like, "Oh shit, we need to go now."
Yeah, that's a $150 tasting just in its own.
I know.
Which, by the way, speaking of that, I had that recently on the rooftop of the new Hilton. Skies on High, $100 for 2 ounces.
Okay.
And just so fucking good, man. So good every single time. I think that's the one really high-end bottle that, I consistently will pay for the pour. I haven't had the chance to buy it. And I think it's coming down in price. My spot up in Michigan, they sold theirs, I think, for like $1,800.
Jesus.
But that's down from, what I've seen of $2,000 to $2,500. Sometimes at the peak, maybe up towards $3,000 for maybe an older, better tasting bottle.
You think people are starting to realize that while yes, it's good, there's other things out there that are.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That are very good as well at a better price point.
I don't think the market is saturated.
Yeah.
No, but I think your average consumer is starting to approach more of like there are so many good varieties and good bourbons to be had that there's now like what's the best bang for my buck?
Yeah.
Like I don't need to drop $300 on a pour to get the best experience possible when you can have like a solid pour and buy a solid bottle for a third of that.
And you still have the people that are buying those bottles for no intention of drinking them. They just sit there unopened. There's nothing more that irritates me than seeing a picture of just the coolest fucking collection and they're untouched. It's not a rich guy buying them and to enjoy them and share them, which is another topic, but just to fucking buy them and sit there and just hope that the value on them just continues to increase for an investment. Like, go fuck yourself.
That's a lot like wine, though. So, like, that's a big wine thing. Or these people have these prestigious wine collections and these wine cellars, and they never fucking drink it. And then what? They're going to die, and their kids are going to inherit it.
And then they're going to drink it.
Or they're going to sell it.
I think a lot of that has to do with the FOMO, the fear of missing out, too. Well, once you get past that, then you start enjoying some of those more flagship brands that have a lot to offer that you look over a lot because you see the limited releases.
Yeah. And you're definitely right on the FOMO of like, you even now we all come across a bottle that we're just like, we know we're just a tater buying that, but you're like, fuck, I have the chance for it now. It's not overly ridiculous, but it's still overpriced, but I should buy it. Well,
I'm guilty of that because I bought 2 bottles of the Steve Nally Bardstown.
Yeah,
Not just one. Those were $400 retail.
Dude, they're fucking. That was a good bottle, man.
That was a good bottle.
Where did you get that?
The distillery.
Oh, okay.
I got up at 3 a.m., drove down there Sunday to pick it up.
Oh, that's insane.
And they let you get 2 of them?
I dropped $1,000. Well, I had the wife with me.
Oh, gotcha.
So we got 2.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
But we also bought the triple stave blend as well, so we dropped $1,000 in that.
Yeah. So I had the chance when I was up in Michigan to get the Foursquare, which I've not had. I asked him if he wanted to buy it, and he said he passed, but I haven't heard anything about it.
I hear really good stuff about it.
Really good.
Better than the plantation rum finish, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I have that plantation rum finish, and it's a little disappointing for the price of it and everything. I was really like hyped up about it because any rum finish I've had is really good, and this is one of the first like bourbon rum finishes, and it just kind of fell for me. It just wasn't there, and
I had like when I was down there for my bachelor party. Like almost a year ago at this point now, like had a pour of it there, and like it was the description and the novelty of it was far better than the actual like follow through of the taste. It was very like, it felt like in their case, like Bardstown has just such a like rich, smooth flavor anyway. It felt like it was almost competing with the rum finish instead of a complementary merging there.
I would have completely nixed the Foursquare because the plantation rum was Tennessee, so we can assume that's Dickel. Yeah. This one, the Foursquare is 90% Indiana.
So it's MGP, yeah. I'm sure I haven't had that, but I would definitely entertain the Foursquare.
I'm going to try a pour first before I buy it.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. That's a good call. Sam, by the way, how did you get your kind of start with it? We kind of got off track a teeny bit.
I loiter in the Bourbon Hunters world is the best way for that. So my start was one of my best friends, Rudra, has the connection into Middle West. And so there was earlier on, this was...
I don't think he has the connection. I think he is
the connection. Yeah, it's him. But no, like that was an earlier on episode. Do you remember like which episode was the original Middle West? That was like sub 20, I want to say.
Yeah, dude would know.
I don't know how to.
Go ahead.
So while we figure that out,
balls.
So whatever episode that was my first foray into the Bourbon Hunters. I go to the gym with all of these guys as well. So like it was something that I had heard about, we had talked about for a while, and like it was something that I just at that point didn't and still don't really have the bandwidth to be a consistent person to show up. But whenever the schedule aligns and I'm able to be here, I always love it and always have a good time.
That was a really fun drop in Middle West Spirits too. We had quite the lineup.
Yeah. It was good.
We got to see the office and kind of go back and taste some different things.
Middle West in general has just been a huge like supporter of the show.
For sure.
Doors open, like as they've grown, they've still been like, just come hang out.
But it's not one of those things that it's like, hey, here's a local distillery that is kind of nice to us. They put out fantastic stuff.
Oh yeah, like that's the thing that I think is what makes Middle West such a unique relationship. It's not just supporting local. Like they are in like 48 states at this point. They are nationwide. They have a very good product. Still one of the best bourbons that like when I like in my head I always classify bourbons into 3 categories. There's friends that I like, friends that I don't like, and then just something to have on hand. And Middle West is one of the best. Like they put out a phenomenal bourbon. They're finished. Everything like that is amazing. But like even just their run-of-the-mill bourbon that you can buy at any liquor agency is phenomenal and consistent. And
I actually haven't had their normal rye and bourbon offerings in a long time, just because I have their barrel-proof stuff.
Yeah.
JD, do you have any of Middle West Spirits rye barrel strength or their bourbon barrel strength?
So don't write me off on this. I haven't tried anything Middle West except for Horse Soldier, who is affiliated.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, awesome. That's like the best bourbon is the bourbon that you enjoy. Yeah. And Middle West is very, like, I love it because it's not like, it doesn't have the name recognition of like a Makers or a Woodford. Like even though they put out an absurd amount of product, it still feels like you meet a lot of people who's like, oh no, I've never heard of that before. And it's a very unique offering to be like, hey, here's this like genuinely enjoy it bourbon that a lot of people haven't had for the first time. So I'm all for it.
Well, I tried Watershed. I have had some High Banks. Watershed doesn't do it for me.
It shouldn't. I mean, it's not very good.
Yep. High Banks for me is a little too rye heavy, even on their normal bourbon blend.
They haven't released any bourbon yet, so
that makes sense.
The High Banks I have that I really enjoy is the barrel strength Midnight Cask.
Yeah, okay. That's good. That's good.
It's got a crazy finish on it. Like I get bread and butter toast.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, I think their bourbon is set to release late this year, I believe. They haven't released a bourbon yet.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, if so, typically I've only seen their Middle West Spirits, their barrel strength in either their picks or, I mean, it's still a pick, but their distillery, gift shop releases. So if you ever see them, go grab one. You know, whether it's the rye. I mean, you're in line with me as far as liking rye a lot. It's one of my fucking favorites. You know, to me, it's Michter's. It's typically Willet, and I'm kind of weird in that. You know, Willet's either you love it or you hate it.
Not a Willet guy.
Yeah, I love Willet.
Not a Willet guy.
And then from there, it's you know, I think Middle West Spirits is top 3 and sometimes, you know, a barrel that they put out of their barrel strength rye can compete with fucking anything. It's, you know. So,
I'm not against Willet. I've just never had a purple top before.
Yeah.
And I hear good stuff about it, but I hear good stuff from when they were sourcing as opposed to like what they're doing now.
So when you do, if you ever go down there and you, you know, you do the trail and you go into Willet's gift shop, go upstairs to their bar because they have a massive book of just all of their stuff that they can have. And so you can have some of the crazy high-end Dusties that's not even Willet. You can have, you know, the Willet higher-end stuff. And you can really taste their stuff. But the biggest thing is, you know, I'm not a dill fan, but I'm a dill fan when it comes to ryes. And that is like the epitome of like tasting dill and rye, and it's just one of my favorite notes.
Yeah, I get a lot of dill in the Nashville Barrel Company rye.
Yeah.
I'm really a big fan of Nashville.
Nice.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah.
So we've got Brett on the tee right now. He's never really golfed before, so this is all new for him. But he's for never doing it.
Right. He's learning and having fun. That's all anyone can ask.
Well, I can't speak to him having fun.
It's mandatory fun. There is no question.
There is no question.
Brett,
man.
Brett, you want to switch me? You want to come back? You want to keep hitting? I don't care.
So give Brett a little breather after his swings there. But yeah, so all right.
These headphones are so hot, Tyler.
I know we talked about Brett's, you know, entry. We talked about Tyler's entry. My whole mindset behind this was, you know, if I started a podcast, it would give me an excuse to hang out with people and drink bourbon. And so my genesis, or my origin story, if you will, for bourbon was, I was, so for the longest time, and I still have psoriatic arthritis, but for the longest time I was taking this medicine called methotrexate. And it makes your liver swell, basically.
I stopped paying attention after the word meth.
That's fine. And so I wasn't allowed to drink while I was on it for the longest time. And then I took it for way longer than I was supposed to, and so long that the efficacy was wearing off. That was a big word for you, Brett. And,
I know what efficacy is.
And so it got to the point where I went to my new doctor, my arthritis doctor, and they were like, "You're on what? For how long? And you're taking how much?" Like, methotrexate's crazy. It can be used for leukemia. It's been used for morning after pill. It's been used for it's like this crazy whatever. It basically kills your body. Is kind of the whole thinking behind it. I want to order some food, so if you...
I was just looking at drinks is what I was looking at.
Well, that too. But I've got some more.
Oh, do you? Okay.
So, but you need to have a glass. So you should probably order something.
Yeah.
Order one.
Before we pour.
Can you start like a tab, or they just charge it to this?
Well,
or how does that
right
work?
now I think it's charged to that Visa gift card I gave them. That's not going to last very long.
Gotcha.
So, Brett, you go ahead. So basically, what I just wanted to start up drinking something, and then my buddy Sam, not you, but Sam Shao, very similar last name, but not exactly the same, got me into bourbon and ginger ale. So my first foray into bourbon was bourbon and ginger ale.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It was
like
good.
a Kentucky Mule.
Yeah, Kentucky Mules are
kind of, but it wasn't ginger beer. It was ginger ale, but it was it was like a little light, alcoholic, refreshing soda. Yeah. And so that just happened to turn your evenings into more fun. And so after a while, I just Tyler and I went to this Columbus bourbon boxcar thing downtown, and they were serving bourbon, but it was all neat. And I was about to puke. I was not ready for that experience because I always had ginger ale and ice with my bourbon. I didn't know. And so after that, I told myself, all right, I've got to learn how to drink bourbon neat. So I started weaning off the ginger ale and weaning off the ice. to the point where I only drink my bourbon neat now, unless it's in a cocktail.
Yeah.
And but that was in the summer of 2019. At the end of the summer, it was like September or whatever, and then it was December 2019 where we went on our bourbon trail trip and started the podcast. So for me, it was like I knew so many people that were into bourbon, and I was like, how do I get to hang out with them more often and not have to like go out on the town? So I was like, let's start a bourbon podcast.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just been, and it took us probably 10, 15 episodes to kind of figure out what we were trying to do.
Sure.
We're not trying to be an informative podcast. We're trying to be an entertaining podcast. So we just sit and talk about our lives. Tyler talks way too much about his deck. His deck, and how when he trims the shrubs back, his deck looks bigger.
It's a great deck, isn't it?
It is a great deck. But he's always so worried about how big his deck looks, and he's always sending me deck pics. I don't
Unsolicited
understand.
deck pics?
Unsolicited deck pics. We're not even talking, and all of a sudden I get a picture of his deck, and I'm just like, what the hell? And I noticed that he's always keeping his shrubs trimmed, you know?
I mean, that's just being responsible.
It is, but he claims it makes his deck look bigger, and I don't know.
I don't see it.
I don't see it.
Sure.
Whatever. It's still a deck. But anyway, so that's how it got started for me, and then it's now become this expectation for me that if I don't get to see you guys at least once a week, I go into a deep dark depression. But
sorry, I'm mesmerized by like the golf swing. Sorry, that's why I'm looking the other direction.
Learn, absorb it, man.
I'm trying. I'm watching the rear arm is what I'm watching because I was always told. Huh? Well, I was always told you had to keep like your rear arm straight,
no,
but I'm like, well, that's what I'm like. How the fuck do you do that?
The rear arm ends up in almost like an L shape. It's the front arm you want to keep as
you don't want to chicken wing it. Don't chicken wing it. Keep it tough.
Yeah. And the left
I got
arm,
some shoulder mobility issues.
The left arm's the one that you want to keep straighter, but it's going to bend some.
Okay. I hit like one okay. Thank you.
Everything you were talking about is what Freddie says, from Buffalo Trace. You know, it's meant to be enjoyed with friends.
Right.
And my wife gets on me all the time because you're giving away too many samples, giving away, and I love you, honey. But
but no, does she like bourbon?
She dabbles. But
she? That's kind of like my wife. My wife's a vodka person, but here's the thing with me is, have you guys ever been over to my house and I've said, no, not that one?
No.
I mean, honestly, I want you to drink my bourbon.
There's one that you don't want us to open, and I feel the same way. That's the mini Blanton's with the buffalo mask on it.
But I've got other Blantons.
I know. I'm kidding.
It's
truly.
The whole,
I'm kidding.
I have, I think, one bottle that is basically off limits in my collection.
Bourbon Hunters?
Yeah. That was because that was my foray into bourbon as a whole was that episode. That was when I started drinking it.
That's crazy. I did not even know that.
Yeah, I had dabbled.
That was a fun recording.
It was very fun. I was not unfamiliar.
You know what made it really fun
bourbon.
is Tyler wasn't able to make it.
I know, right?
Being able
he had to go get a COVID shot or a COVID test that day.
Yeah,
and the best part is it was negative.
Yeah.
But his wife was making him get a COVID test to let him start sleeping in the bed again after something.
I think it was your bourbon, or no, someone's bourbon trip.
No, I think it was just a bachelor party or something of his.
Oh, okay.
That he was going to.
Can't you just drink high enough proof bourbon to kill it?
That's always been my mindset.
Yeah. If you can still smell the bourbon and taste the bourbon,
that's your COVID
you're
test.
Not COVID positive.
That's the COVID test. Now, how many times have you had COVID, Sam? 7?
Oof,
we on 7 now?
I think 3 confirmed, 2 maybes.
Yeah.
For what?
2, I don't feel like getting a test done.
Yeah, that's the whole if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's COVID.
Yeah.
How many balls do you get to hit? I'm derailing. As many as you want? Okay.
Yeah. You just get 2 hours worth, basically.
Well, I didn't know. No, when it's
in the games, you get 20.
That's what I meant. Between each person.
But if we're not truly keeping score, then just hit whatever the hell you want.
No, it's just more out of curiosity.
Yeah. Apparently, Tyler decided to hit JD's balls.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, maybe.
No, maybe, yes.
Often wrong, never in doubt.
Still a fan. I already lost that one in the air.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is with the horrific air quality.
I know, dude. You can't see shit.
Right?
Is it air quality? I thought it was like a mist.
No, it's air quality.
Is this,
blame Canada.
Forest fire still?
I don't know.
It's really.
I just know it's Canada's. I just know it's Canada's fault.
I don't know if it's smoke, but it's air quality. I'd say it's
order
smog.
some food.
Like
I'm
a month ago or so,
have
was
the
the fire in Canada was the reason for the poor air quality.
I don't know if that's still the case or not, but it's definitely hazy as fuck out.
Yeah, it is. But we're at Topgolf. We're enjoying some alcohol, and I'm about to order some food, and I have no idea what I want to order.
They have some good food.
Do they?
Yeah, it's actually
that doesn't
not bad.
narrow it down at all. I like that. Instead of a good thing or this item I recommend, it's like just food.
I don't see it on here, and I could just be missing it, but when you do the VIP thing here, they do this big, huge pretzel, and inside of each little part of the pretzel, they have like, it's almost like a charcuterie board. Oh. So they have like meats and cheeses and whatever. And I don't see that in here unless just the regular. I don't see the pretzel at all, to be honest.
I do like that an entire generation that grew up eating Lunchables is now obsessed with charcuterie boards. Right. Like, that checks out.
Yeah, it is. It does. And what's funny about that, too, is that there's a meme going around with a charcuterie board that has, like, your standard stuff in it, but if you look closely, like, there's condoms on it.
Oh, yeah.
There's
like lines of Coke and all kinds of shit.
What do you call it?
Syringes?
Syringes, thank you. Things like that in there, which I just find so funny.
I saw that. It's like the longer I look at this, the wilder it gets, or something.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. The longer you look at it. I thought there was an airplane, but
yeah,
no,
I didn't. I was like, what is that?
It's a vacuum. So I just had a brief moment of panic that I'd never hit the record button, but I did. So
you can unrecord it now and freak you out later.
Unrecord it. Yes. So what do you think you're going to get for food, Tyler?
I haven't looked. I'm just admiring JD's.
The menu.
JD's. Do we start with some an app, or you diving right?
You are an app whore,
dude. I'm an app slut.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
I'm here for it. I agree.
If I ever catch him cheating on our podcast, it's going to be with appetizers. Yeah. I'm going to find him in bed with like pretzel bites all over him.
An appetizer podcast.
Yep, it's called the App Attack.
Pretzel bites are really far down the list of appetizers for me. But
just throwing that out there. JD's hits are about like my dick. They're long and straight.
Long and straight?
Yeah. Which is exactly not like my dick. It's the exact opposite. Crooked and short. But whatever.
Yeah, he's a good golfer from, I don't know shit about golf, but
he works at a golf course.
Oh, there you go.
That'll do that for you.
Well, I don't know.
What is he, the general manager of Tartan Fields?
No, he's the assistant superintendent.
The assistant secretary to the traveling
salesman.
The traveling secretary assistant or something. What is it? What was George's title on Seinfeld? Assistant to the traveling secretary, I think.
Well, he was many things.
Oh, that was not your shot, JD. That was not it. Topped it.
He was an importer-exporter.
No, that was Kramer.
No, I thought Costanza was an importer-exporter.
Kramer was Vandelay Industries. He was an importer-exporter.
Dude, Kramer did everything, though.
But I
swear that was Costanza.
No, Costanza was the assistant to the traveling secretary of the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
I think in the earlier stuff, I should say.
Do you know who did the voice of...
is that not right?
George of
Steinbrenner? Larry David.
That doesn't surprise me.
And then Larry David's also the one who's selling the gum when they're trying to find that special gum that's only available in China.
Yeah.
That Lloyd Braun was able to get. So they find it. They find it at this little walk-up
kiosk
in like at the side of a building on the street, and it's Larry David selling it.
I like that the audio picks up the subtle crowd noises.
Yeah.
It feels like Roller Coaster Tycoon in the background.
Surprisingly enough, when I edit it, there's not much that actually is occurring.
That's cool.
And what's funny is there are people like looking at us.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Kids, I mean.
Yeah.
Like trying to figure out what we're up to.
Yeah.
And we could probably, make it seem like we're more famous than we are.
I mean, 100,000 downloads.
Yeah. I mean, we are famous. But
Do you want me to leave, change clothes, and come back, like clothes from my car, and be like, "Can I get an autograph?"
start the walk by and be like, double take.
Yeah.
Take a picture with us, get an autograph. That'd be funny.
Might help the golf swing, loosen.
Yeah, there we go.
Loosen it up a little bit.
Yeah, I want to get a few more swings in at some point. I was watching, I feel very rigid, very stiff.
What the biggest thing I find that helps your swing is you take your keys, put it in like a fish bowl, and you take your pineapple and turn it upside down.
Oh, okay.
And that'll help your swing game big time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Upside down broom on the front porch.
Something. I mean, and then you put your keys in the fish bowl. That's the biggest thing that helps. So, you're kind of talking about. Did you talk about your entry into bourbon? How it got started for you?
No, not yet.
All right, JD, give us a rundown, man.
All right.
First, not a listener, first time guest.
Not first time, long time. So I've always been kind of a Jim Beam and Coke guy.
I mean, we all had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So
I did that in college, I guess.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, we all did, I think.
Same.
Jack and Jim.
I went to school in Kentucky. We were not allowed to drink Jack Daniels.
Yeah, I know. That's so stupid.
That was a big thing because
it.
it was like Tennessee whiskey versus Kentucky
what
bourbon.
was the name of your college?
Moorhead.
Yes, it was.
Yep.
I had a golf buddy who golfed for them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
They didn't call that place Less Head.
They didn't. That's right. My freshman dorm mate, I guess you call a roommate in the dorm, he was on the golf team.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, rival school up in Michigan, Jimmy Capelli. Really good player.
Nice.
You know what? If I would have gone to school there, that would have been my pickup line. They didn't call this place Less Head.
Oh, yeah. It would
called
be funny.
it Moorhead.
I would go on like...
I probably would have had the same success rate as I did at Ohio State.
You couldn't have done worse.
That's exactly my point.
You can get anything online like hats and shit now, but early days when I was first in school, like the internet wasn't like it is now, and I would wear hats that said like Moorhead on them, and people would ask to buy them from me. They're like, "Oh my God, your hat has Moorhead. Can I buy that?"
That's when you should have opened up your trunk and had like a whole thing of like hats and shirts.
Yeah,
and
That's why everybody buys South Carolina, because it says Cox.
Gamecocks, yeah.
It just says Cox.
Yeah,
Well, those
Cox,
old
that's
ones
all
did,
it
yeah.
said.
It just said Cox on it.
I think they still sell them like that.
They probably do.
Like they're leaning into it. They know what
Sound
they're
disappointed.
Yeah.
doing. They know what they're up to. That was the rival. That was the rival as far as most. What do you call it?
Oh, you already ordered. Never mind.
Most apparel was the Gamecocks and Moorhead. they were rivaling each other. They would call it. They had a monthly call. I don't know if you know this, but they had a monthly call between those two schools to compare their retail sales.
No, they didn't.
You were thinking about it, though. I saw you pause.
I was like...
Did you see it? You saw him pause, right?
Yeah.
He's like...
It clicked really quick, though. It was
That doesn't sound right,
Like, that
but I
sounds
don't know
weird.
enough about this to
The thing that Tyler has learned is you just say stuff with confidence.
Oh, yeah.
And people don't believe you anyway because you're Tyler.
I was actually watching that guy over there because I didn't know if he was going to come say something about your glass. He was like staring over here.
What about my glass? It's empty.
No. The one that he wanted to take. And
Yeah,
you told him not to because you wanted to try something.
Yeah, I'm going to try something. I'm going to try another vial out of my container. Is what I'm going to try. When he comes back and sees it's filled back.
Right, that's what I meant. Like, and he's going to be like...
If I knew this was going to happen, I would have been bringing vials for all of you.
That's all good, man.
Well, if that would have been a little too obvious.
Yeah.
If we all had our own vials.
Be a lot cooler, though.
Hey, for sake of what you said, put this beside the suitcase.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
so he
yeah,
walks
yeah.
away.
So
Just set it beside the suitcase.
Like on the ground?
Yeah.
we would go on family camping trips, kind of bring this back full circle.
Hey, if while you're down there you want to pour out one of my vials, but that'd be a little more work.
Is this yours?
No, the one he set on the floor is mine.
Oh, okay.
He's coming back this way.
Yeah,
again.
So we would go on family camping trips, and I would steal my stepdad's Jim Beam. I would pop open Diet Coke cans and drink a little bit and pour it in there and walk around the campground, like a big shot at 16 years old.
So speaking of like sneaking things around, when I was at Ohio State, there was and I don't know if they're still there, they may be, there was a group called the Ohio Staters.
Okay.
And they helped you get tickets to away games if you were a student. And so what they would do is they would charter buses and stuff like that. You would buy your away tickets and all that. And then you would hop on the bus. Like every year the Michigan was away, I would use the Ohio Staters to get my tickets. We would camp out, get trashed outside of the Union, waiting for them to open. It was basically like the modern day iPhone release.
Yep.
But you were waiting for tickets to the Michigan game.
Okay.
And so we would camp outside on the grass, get just plastered, stay up all night long, and go in, and we'd be drunk getting our tickets to the game. on the way to the game, you weren't allowed to take any alcohol or anything like that. So what we did is we took tea bottles, Snapples. Mm-hmm. Snapple, that's a throwback.
I remember Snapple.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
they said shit under the lid. There was like little sayings and stuff.
Yeah. But I don't think they always did that. But that became a thing.
I remember that.
So we would take Snapple bottles and fill them up partially basically with rum and Coke. And so it would be the same. It would be the same consistency or of like color.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, so it would look. And then the best part is when you got off of the bus just smelled like booze. But everyone's drinking Snapples.
Everyone's getting those drinking sweats going.
Yeah. But no one heard the pop when you opened your Snapple. There was no pops. Not a single pop.
It's funny.
No pop.
There was
Hey, does anyone know that reference? Pop?
No.
Pop? No one watched Community?
Oh.
I did not.
Gotcha. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. There was when we were at Sonic Temple, there was a woman that came up to the Middle West booth and was describing the best way she had ever found to sneak in any type of alcohol anywhere was she was a recent mother, and so would take in her pumping supplies that have all of the conveniently like bags of just liquid that you can hold on at the bottom, and the second you open it up and it's pumping supplies, everyone's just like, yeah, no, just take it through, you're good. And so she would take in like an entire like handle of alcohol into wherever she was going, just because she distributed it amongst the various nursing banks.
Guys,
Nursing banks.
Dude's gone. Let's talk about pizza.
He's wrong about pizza.
What's his stance on pizza?
Detroit's the best pizza.
Yeah, Detroit's the best pizza.
Yeah,
I mean, outside of like, the guy doesn't even know what New Haven style pizza is. We had to like lay it out what that style is.
Have you talked to him about Buddies?
I don't know Buddies.
Home? You don't know Buddies? Oh, Buddies.
No, the other place that you mentioned to me today, Supino's. Is that more of like a Midwestern style like pub pizza?
It's more New Yorkish, big billfold kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. When Freddy's, my dad was there.
Yeah, Freddy's is supposed to be just absolutely amazing.
They only make a certain amount of pies. When they're sold out, they close, they're done.
Yeah. I love stores that do that.
Yeah.
Like, if that can be operated in a sustainable, like, business model way for, like, the store as well, I love the play. Because Hot Chicken Takeover used to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Just, like, way back when they were literally a hole in the wall.
Wario's Beef does that. Like, once they're out of their stuff, they're done.
And then Becca over at Little Donut Factory, it's just,
it's fucking
this is what we made today, and
9 a.m.
Yeah. I love businesses that do that.
Well, you got to get in line, because they have a line by 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
People getting pizzas.
Yeah. They're Freddy's up in Michigan. They'll typically, like, they open for lunch and, like, they're sold out after that. So they're sold out by, like, 2 or 3 o'clock.
That's awesome.
And it sucks in another sense, because anytime you want to go, you're like, I have to get pizza for lunch if I want to try this place. And are they coal-fired?
Yeah.
Gotcha. It just looks incredible. I have yet to have... So I've had...
Oh, nice. I like crust like that, where it's like charred just a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
show
a little burn.
His dick would get hard for that. That's Freddy's up in Michigan.
That's real pizza.
Michigan.
Not artificial
Detroit.
pizza.
No, that's not Detroit style. That's this guy.
Sicilian is Detroit style.
Yeah. It basically, it's like a modified Sicilian style. Nice shot, dude. Nice shot. Unless you're hitting that with like a 4-iron, then it was just okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay shot. It was an okay shot.
Paulie G's is... I've done them a disservice, because their Detroit squares are just... They just look fucking incredible. And...
I've never had their square pizzas.
I have never had their squares. That's Buddy's up in Michigan.
Yeah,
that looks good.
I've had the regular pizza, but I've only picked it up and drove it home and had it there, which is, like anytime a pizza.
Yeah.
And for me, like, it's on High Street downtown to like West Hilliard. You're looking at a 20, 25 minutes that's been in the box. Like, it's not the same pizza at that point in time.
No. They had that Sunday sweatpants deal. That's a good deal.
Fuck yeah!
So
have you ever had it?
We do it all the time.
Really?
Yeah, because my girlfriend's a vegan, and so they have a good vegan cheese at Pauly G's, which I'm not real big into that shit, but she is, and she really likes it.
So isn't it like a bottle of wine and like 2 pizzas or something like that?
No, it's 2 pizzas and like a house salad.
Oh, a salad. Yeah, you're right.
It's $40 for that, which is not a bad deal. Basically, the salad's free.
I will say I'm not into like the whole big like vegan everything, but what I have started doing is having like my wife and I went to Harvest Pizza the other day and got their meat lovers pizza, but subbed vegan out for anything that we could with it.
Sure.
And it was a very interesting, because it's like, I'm not vegan. I'm not going vegan for vegan. But it was a much lighter pizza that I didn't feel gross afterwards because it was just super heavy. Yeah. And that I can appreciate a lot.
Sure. You're like, how can I just lighten this up? How can I not just be a fucking lard ass for the rest of the day? The flavors were still there.
Everything was good, but like I could have like the 2 or 3 pieces.
Have you ever seen Pauly G's?
It's not ringing a bell.
Okay, I'll show you their squares, because their squares just look absolutely incredible. And we've wanted to have their pizza on our podcast, like, except for the fact that they're closed Tuesdays. So
a little bit of a problem.
Yep.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
I heard it, but I didn't see it.
That's like one of them. Like it's their squares.
They do those like dollops.
Okay.
For like the vegan ones, as opposed to like cheese.
The fresh mozzarella.
So
it's not mozzarella though, because it's like that vegan one they do. It's actually like cashews, I think. They like blend up cashews and make it.
Like, look at that. Man.
I don't know.
Cool. I don't. But then the wood fire looks incredible too.
Their wood fire is good.
Well, one of my wife and I's favorite things to do is to order like a simpler pizza wherever, like just a pepperoni or something like that. And we have dozens of hot sauces at home. And so that will be the vessel for our hot sauces, just like dumping it onto a pizza, making it absurdly spicy beyond all reason, and just chowing down on that.
What's your level on hot chicken takeover?
The extra holy.
I just tried it. Just tried it. It's really good.
Yeah, I love it.
I've always stuck to just hot.
Are you like the hottest hot is okay with you?
Hot for hot's sake, I don't like. If it is hot with flavor, I'm all about it, and like I will scale that up.
So my uncle like has like I feel like it's not that he doesn't have any taste buds, but like his tolerance for heat is just ridiculous. So one of the first times that I've ever like dove into whiskey was he takes scorpion peppers and he'll do like 1, 2, or 3, and he'll put them in a cheap bottle of whiskey, and he'll basically let it marinate in the whiskey, and it literally feels like someone is fucking punching your fucking chest.
So scorpion, I've learned this because I've had enough. Scorpion peppers immediately give me a stomachache.
Oh, okay.
Like any of the like ghost peppers, habanero, like anything else, I'm perfect. Like even pepper X, I've been fine. Just Reapers, I'm good with. It's just scorpion peppers, like immediate stomachache.
I generally get gonorrhea when I get scorpion peppers. Is that not normal?
You just have gonorrhea.
No, that's not from the peppers. That's from the girl that gives it to you.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah.
That's probably been my problem then.
Yeah, that'll check out.
They're usually pretty dirty.
I was highly disappointed in Popeye's ghost pepper.
Stay down, knees bent.
Popeyes.
I haven't had those.
So, I will say this without a doubt in my mind that Popeyes is not better than Chick-fil-A. Like it's
not. It's not even close.
Their chicken tenders are good.
Sure.
I will say
their chicken tenders are fantastic.
But Chick-fil-A's chicken tenders are fantastic.
Different bread.
But so here's why
Dave's
I like
hot chicken. Dave's hot chicken has just taken it all over for me.
I've never had it. Is it good?
So good.
That's the one up off of Sawmill.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We live right there, and that's like if it's like Cane's and Chick-fil-A and like it is better
like
than all of them. Like
so
it is.
And I fucking
good.
love Cane's.
Yeah.
And here's the biggest gripe with a lot of other places that do like, and I refer to more of their spicy stuff. Chick-fil-A, the spiciness is in the breading, it's in the cooking, right? Where a lot of these other places, they do their chicken well, except their spiciness is in the sauce, and I'm like, give or take. And also, here's the other thing with that too is, I think Chick-fil-A has a really good meat to breading portion.
Yeah.
Where I've had some that like you're getting a chicken breast like that thick, and I'm just like, I don't want that. I want it just a nice, even,
Dave's Hot Chicken, because they have the heat raking similar to Hot Chicken Takeover.
Okay, so you can
dial up as much as you want.
So it's not one or the other.
Right. There is another. There was a company that we just found, and it has since become integral into our lives. The Flatiron Pepper Company.
Can I have the menu? Sorry.
While we're talking about food, the Flatiron Pepper Company. They do high quality red pepper flakes or things like that, but they have a lot of different blends of. They'll have a chipotle or a smoky focused one, or a lot of different options that go along with that, and heat levels that go from this has replaced black pepper to us to one of theirs is called Melt Your Face Off.
And it is
amazing and absolutely
sign me up.
Cannot swear by them enough. Absolutely love them.
Would you do hot ones? You know that show?
Yeah, no hot ones. I've done all of their sauces before. I have the last.
Really?
Oh yeah, I have the last tab at home. So for my wife's birthday in March, because she also loves spicy food, we went over to a friend's place that also enjoys it. Ordered 4 dozen chicken wings, just plain, and brought over a good 40 or 50 hot sauces. And so for the hot ones, the lightest hot sauce we had was in their back half. So everything was we had Da Bomb organic, we had all the different types of last dab, all everything. It was.
Did you have the Bomb Diggity?
Yes.
What, $35 or is it $59?
So
we're back.
So you've got a story to tell. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I cannot hear you. There we go. I'm back.
We're good.
So you got a story to tell about. I made you some shirts for your black belt test for your Krav.
There was a last-minute custom shirt request. So the story is, starting in October-ish. One time, my wife and I were just chilling at home, and I'm doom scrolling through Reddit, and just to annoy me, she leans over and starts tapping on my phone. And she taps on this one random picture of eggs and tries to save it. It is nothing special in any way, shape, and form. It is literally a picture of almost a dozen fried eggs.
So those eggs, that picture is a picture that she just was messing with you.
Yep.
So was she wanting attention?
Yeah. She was being annoying.
And you were being annoying. You were probably being annoying because you were in your phone and she wanted attention.
Something like that. Yeah.
So okay. I get it now.
So she just taps on it's just tapping on my phone. So I swat her hand away. But then I download that picture and I text it to her later in the day, hours later. And then she sends it to me as a message on LinkedIn. And then I send it to her on Instagram. And then she changes her Venmo profile picture to that picture of eggs and sends me 1 cent. So it pops up on my Venmo feed as the eggs have sent me 1 cent. And then she doubled down and changed our camera security system to just show the eggs instead of anything else. So after that, we had recently gotten married, so I replaced one of our wedding pictures on the wall with a big 16 by 24 printout of these eggs. It is still there.
All right.
And then, this has gone on for a minute, so I have to confirm with the list. So there was the poster on the wall. Then she bought a shirt initially, and then she also changed the dog's dog tags to have just a picture of the eggs on them. So then we went out of town, and it worked out that just through PTO restrictions, she had to come back a couple days before I did, and I had changed the shower curtain to be a picture of the eggs. And then I had also learned that you can custom order wrapping paper. So all of her Christmas presents that year were wrapped in this same picture of the eggs. And then I started giving talks for conferences, and so my question slide in front of 100+ developers is just a random picture of eggs.
Now, did anyone ever ask you why you had a picture of eggs?
Once. Out of the 4 conferences that I've given this talk at, I've only been asked that question once.
That's
and
fine.
my answer is just to win a meme war with my wife. And that's about it.
That's probably good enough.
I feel like that's fair. She then also found out that you can custom order Lego. So I had custom ordered Lego with the eggs on it. Keychains were changed without my knowing by her. What else was there? At one point I was making HelloFresh, and so I brought out a new cutting board that was the picture of the eggs. My proudest one is when I was getting my tattoo sleeve done, I got a little fried egg included in my tattoo sleeve.
Jesus.
So that's there now and permanently on me. And then, let's see, so she about a week and a half before I left for the black belt test, she replaced our light switches with a picture of the eggs.
That's good
and
stuff.
so that was like, okay, I got to do something. We've got this coming up. So got a dude to print out some very quick egg shirts, which are phenomenal, by the way. I absolutely love them.
Did they turn out good?
They turn out great.
What did she think of them?
When we got there, I had Aaron, the head instructor. He ran in there first and hung them up on the gym in North Carolina who was hosting this test in their merch store. So she walks in there initially and just doesn't see them. And I make a comment about, I should probably buy a shirt while I'm here. And so it's like, yeah, these are nice. Sees them and it just has this what the fuck? How'd you do this? And so
that's good stuff.
That is the most recent one.
That's a good reveal. That's good. I like that.
I have priced out. I know how much billboards cost.
How much
Columbus
is a billboard, by the way?
So, understandably, it depends on the amount of traffic that it receives. And so, a cheaper one was about $1,000 for 4 weeks.
Because I've always just wanted to buy a billboard and put something nonsensical up there.
And honestly, $1,000 for 4 weeks is not as bad as I was expecting it to
be.
It's
not. If you have fuck you money, that's not too bad.
It's a non-trivial amount. It's more than I'm comfortable blowing on it right now.
Right, but we could maybe combine forces and do something funny.
I think that
half and half billboard where people don't know that it's not the same company.
I would be down for that. I have also priced out airplane banners.
Jeez. Those are only good for a certain quick period of time. That's the problem.
They charge by the hour. So
that sucks.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
So real quick, a little shout out to Lake at Top Golf. He is the manager, right? He was a manager.
He was. Yep.
And he's into bourbon. He let us know he found his first bottle of blends, and he likes Weller Special Reserve and Weller Antique, and he's getting into the bourbons. So
yeah.
Shout out to him. Hopefully he does give us a listen. It won't be for another week and a half because we had a couple in the hopper, surprisingly.
That's
good.
Good to have.
Yeah. I'm getting looks from other people around the table who aren't actually listening because they don't have their headphones on, and that's fine. So, Top Golf. I think if I had to guess, Brett might have had a good time, but also still just not quite sold on golf yet. That's fine.
Yeah, the atmosphere is fun and enjoyable. I just cannot swing a golf club to save my life for whatever reason.
You're just too stiff. You're too worried about it.
It's a very unnatural feel for me.
I feel like whenever you ask people if they like golf, if they do, actual golfing is third or fourth on their list of things they like about golf. It's always hanging out, getting to be in nature, going out for a walk, having a beer, talking with friends.
Or having a golf cart tipped over on your leg and having to have surgery to correct it.
Yeah.
That's a solid number 3 for me.
Tyler, what's your favorite thing about golf? Yeah. There's one right there. Is it the golf cart? Is it the golf cart accidents, tipping over on your leg and having to have surgery?
It's not. It's not that. And funny story, I was at a wedding last Friday, and I told the guy my story, and he's like, well, he's like, I basically fractured my left leg 7 times, and he told me a bunch of different stories on it, and I was like, you might have me beat. One was getting hit by getting T-boned on a motorcycle. One was falling at work or something like that and fracturing his femur. And I was like, damn,
this dude has osteoporosis or something? I think he needs to get his calcium checked.
He's 87.
Well, he got hit by a car.
I mean, that one's valid, but
But seriously, you lying son of a bitch. That was not funny at all.
Yeah, you did say funny story.
Oh, it's definitely a funny story.
Have you ever noticed that most people, when they say funny story, it's generally not funny?
Right. It's a...
Oh, funny story. They're just trying to set you up for
It's more ironic. It's more ironic.
I don't know that there's any irony to it.
Well, I was sitting with someone, and I had a pretty shit accident, and this person happened to have a more fucked up leg.
They had a 5-up instead of a 1-up.
Yeah.
It's more coincidental than irony.
What is it about golf?
We actually don't care. We just wanted to make fun of you about the accident.
Nice.
No, I do want to hear the answer though. Yeah, I got you started. May as well see it through.
It's incredibly technical, and you can't just athletic yourself will yourself athletically to be good at it.
I will argue that one of my friends who never plays, he's just a really good athlete. He can go out and play with a 7-iron the entire time and shoot like 3 over par per 9.
Well, I think
and
that
you're just like, what the fuck?
I think that
frustrates the hell out of me because he never plays.
Well, I think that has to do with when you're talking about he's super athletic, like he's super skilled. Sport to sport, he can pick up the skill very, very easily. And I think that translates.
I don't know. To me, golf is like 90% muscle memory, and I feel like,
I mean, there's also just like if you understand how your body moves and the body mechanics, you
sure.
will be able to.
But that's what I mean by athletic.
Yeah.
I think that an athletic person can be good without being technical. Is that was my point.
Yeah. It's the same thing that the OSU football team has a dunking competition every year. Like good athlete's gonna good athlete.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like typically you watch a basketball player, football player play golf, and they're fucking horrendous. But then there's the very one-off chances that a couple of them are incredible at golf, and I don't think that has anything to do with their actual jumping, sprinting strength. I think it has everything to do with their skill in being able to pick up movements very, very quickly. So that's the thing that's, typically I've gone through different sports in my life. Like, I'm self-taught in golf.
Same.
In pretty much every sport that I've ever had, like I haven't had a ton of, traditional instruction on it. And I could play every sport decently. But it's just not one of the sports that you can be like, okay, well, I'm going to out-strength you here. I'm going to out-endurance you here. I'm going to sprint you here. You're just not going to do it. So it keeps you coming back for that reason because you're like, fuck, like it's so skilled. It's so incredible. And then obviously, like when you're talking about at the professional level, it's just more and more and more skilled. Like it's just incredible.
That's fair.
So that's what's the draw to it. And there's definitely, sports or activities out there that are very, very skilled. I just don't think they're as active as golf. So when you pair the actual, like, one of the things that I think about is a very skilled quote unquote sport, you're thinking of like, billiards. Like to be very, very high level at that, right?
And like bowling.
And bowling and things like that. But golf, you're like out for hours in nature doing it, and there's different plays to it. When you're thinking about bowling, you're thinking about pretty much the same couple of things over and over and over and over, whereas the landscape course to course or shot to shot is going to be incredibly different. And then when you look at the turf side of things, from course to course to course, that varies an incredible amount.
There's a lot of core skill set that needs to be developed, but at the same time, you have to apply a core skill set to a variable environment.
Yes.
Whereas, like that, I like that because, I am huge into billiards. I absolutely love it. Yeah. And so, like, it's very much.
Is that our next big podcast?
Billiards.
Doing playing pool.
I'm down. I have 3 pool cues. One says bad motherfucker. One says D's nuts. And if you have a problem with that, the other one is HR. HR is a breaking cue. HR is a beefy motherfucker.
Oh, yeah?
Love it. So, I'm sure there's different shots in billiards. Well, you know what I mean?
But it's the whole, like, I am reading the table in billiards. But, like, what you're talking about is, like, a core skill set, like knowing how to take a shot or knowing how to do a bank or something like that. But then the entire variable of where that happens is different.
And you think of it, like, in the sense of, okay, well, where's my ball lying? Is it on top of the grass? Is it buried a little bit? Is the course, the coarseness of the grain of the grass in my face? Is it facing away? Because that's going to change everything. And then you got to think of the landing spot. Okay, how does that sloping,
the landing strip?
The landing strip. How is that?
A little bit different.
Yeah. Am I going to the green? Am I going, aiming for, I don't think you're ever aiming for the rough, but.
Does she shave it or does she just trim it down?
Yeah.
Like, what is the.
Yeah, and then you got then you're hitting out of the sand, and that's a whole nother element.
I don't know that I've ever hit out of the sand. What is that? Oh, we're talking about golf still. You're still talking about golf?
No.
Yeah.
That's after a beach trip.
Oh, there you go.
So there's so many different elements, shot to shot, course to course, that makes it again super challenging.
And if only we had a golf expert here that could enlighten us more about this.
JD, what do you like about golf?
I hope his answer is I can't stand golf. It's my job.
Or it's the accidents.
Well, I've been on both sides of the game. I played competitively high school and college. Thought I was good enough. I wasn't. I actually have a really good story that I'll tell here in a few minutes. Dude's going to be sorry he missed it. But golf for me was an outlet during a time when my parents were getting divorced when I was young. And it was a tough time because I was the oldest of my siblings. And so my escape was going to the driving range. And I didn't think anything of it at the time, 8 years old. And I'm just hitting golf balls all the time, putting, just to escape that maniacal nature of what was uncomfortable. And then a couple years go by, and then my dad's like, "You're pretty good." Nobody saw it.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a swing coach until my junior year of high school. And I fired him after about 6 lessons because he was trying to change my swing to his. In the game of golf, you want to try and learn the behaviors of somebody's already ingrained golf swing, unless you're fresh.
Yeah, that's me.
I could work with you a little differently. But if somebody already has that muscle memory, then you just want to start tweaking areas to help them become more consistent and make it more enjoyable.
Yeah.
So having played competitively, I miss it. I miss the long bus rides with my teammates. I still have connections with all of them, both schools I played for. I still have connections to those guys and guys I played against. And once a year we get together and have a round.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's cool.
And I love it. But today I can go out and have fun. Like, I don't have to grind. I don't have to hit the range and putt and make sure that I'm fine-tuned for a match or for a tournament.
It's funny because a lot of people think in golf you're like, what do you mean you have to? What do you mean you have to grind in golf? Like it would be the same thing as like a professional billiards player. Like, what do you mean you're playing billiards? But it's like you kind of don't see the background of players hitting, playing around and then going and hitting, 200 shots after to practice on certain things, or hitting 100 shots before a round, and it's just, that's actually pretty fucking exhausting. And then we're all used to just driving a golf cart around, but then when you think about you're walking 18 and then you're walking 18 the next day and walking 18 the next day and then walking 18 the next day, you're that's fucking exhausting.
No caddies either.
Yeah.
You're carrying your own bag.
Yeah. I mean, up until the PGA.
Yeah, up until, like, my summer events, I had a caddy. My dad was my caddy. I fired him twice. And
like, God damn it, Dad, no.
Well, no, it was just, like, altercations where he thought he knew my swing better than me.
Yeah.
Or the weather conditions, and I'm like, I can't get a pitching wedge there. I need to hit, like, fly in a low, sawed-off 9-iron. And he's like, you can get a wedge. You can get a wedge. And I hit the wedge just to show him I couldn't get it there. And I'm hurting myself.
And then you're
yeah. But yeah, golf, like grinding. When we were playing with Kendall, we back 9, we did like this match play thing, scramble, where Tyler and I were on a team. We were playing against Kendall, and forgive me for forgetting your other buddy's name.
Danny.
So we were one down going into 9. Like that 9th hole, that was me grinding. I turned my focus different, and we birdied the hole to get it back because I don't like losing.
Yeah. And then we had a playoff hole, which we had a playoff hole. We're literally like, well, this hole's open. Let's just jump on it right now. We finish 18, and then we're just like, wait, shit, 3's open. Let's do a playoff.
The group behind us started looking at us.
Yeah, we're just like, sorry, we're gonna jump on here and do a playoff hole.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And then we killed them.
So my golf story, my dad's favorite story. I'm buddies with Adam Hadlin, Canadian tour golfer, and I hadn't seen him for about 4.5 years. I coached my former high school, and one of my kids went to play at Louisville with him. And so I had met him a few times and played golf with him a few times. He's like, hey, it's my coach, But I hadn't seen him for a while, and he shows up at Tam O'Shanter Country Club, and that's where I was working at the time, doing the grounds maintenance.
Yeah.
And my supervisor goes, hey, Adam's here, and he wants to play against somebody mentioned you, and you played college, and he wants you to come play. And I wasn't prepared to play. I had my clubs. I kept them in my locker.
Yeah.
My collared shirt looked like it sat in a duffel bag for 3 weeks. And I put it on. I'm like, I can't. Like, give me something from the pro shop, But we drive out there to the third hole, and I'm just wearing this wrinkled shirt. And he looks at me, and he goes, don't you own an iron? I said, yeah, I own 11 of them. They're in my bag. And
that's good. Though.
And then I mentioned our ties, to the kid I coached in high school, and he was like, oh no shit, and we had a really really good time, and I went out and he only beat me by a couple.
That's cool though. That's a cool
awesome.
Story.
Yeah, I love that because that's definitely like I feel like anyone that I've ever met that like competes at that like very high level, like it's being able to like largely it's like later in life after like the sun has set on doing it at that high level, being able to like slowly peel back the layers and revisit it where it can be fun again. Mm-hmm. There's so I actually travel to conferences and give a talk on burnout. And one of the main things that I try to talk about is challenging people that have hobbies that are not monetized, because the second that you start to turn your hobbies into chores, it's a job. Absolutely. And so even if it started as an escape and started as fun and started as something that was like fueling you, it became a cost of energy. And to see that come full circle around where it could be fun again is just huge steps taken to get there. So good on you for that. That's awesome.
I've only played about 4 times since last fall. Still hit the ball all right,
Yeah.
It's just there.
Yeah. And it always will be.
We're about to find out how accurate you are here in a second.
Oh, all right.
I did really well until they got to the white, and I switched out from my 8-iron to the 6-iron. I should have stayed with my 8-iron. I was hitting that about that just over what would have been the brown, and it would have bounced into the white.
Yeah, this is like concrete, so you can land it short, skip them.
I should have just stayed with the 8-iron the whole time. Tyler's apparently the example of even a blind dog can find a...
Blind squirrel find a nut?
Or a blind squirrel, or what? Yeah, what is it?
Blind squirrel find a nut.
Yeah. Oh, it was shave a dog's ass, teach it to walk backwards. That's what it is. That's the one. I got him mixed up. Here we go. He's off to... This is where he's going to start faltering, I think.
Tyler.
Oh, shit. Where did this come from? Tyler is proof that the more... Oh, he missed.
Oh, skipped
it went over. That's
Rookie.
more like it. That's more like it.
I remember my first swing.
See, he's bouncing his in. I was landing mine directly in. That's the difference, I think.
Ideally, that's how you want to do it.
Bounce it in or direct?
Direct flight.
He's got that... Who is the guy that had the weird C swing? Probably...
Trevino?
No. After him, it was a weird swing. Like
Mo Norman?
No.
His philosophy on golf is brilliant. You put this dumb guy into that dumb guy into that dumb guy.
He finally got one in there. I think there you go, Tyler.
Do the points go down for each attempt you try and get it in?
No.
Or does it? Okay.
There's variables like which part of the thing you put it into, like which, because there's like rings as you get closer in. So that gives you more points. And then somehow...
Kind of like darts.
I hit more targets than he did, but he's only 1 point away from me with 3 swings left. I don't understand.
It's Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler. Often wrong, never in doubt. Whatever.
That's not for anything.
Now, I will say that he bounced his brown, the first brown one he bounced it right into the brown eye. Like, it went right into the target. I was like, what the hell? Like, because I was hitting, like, the second ring on a few of them, but, like, straight in. He bounced it into the... I'm like, seriously?
If there's a brown eye, he'll find it.
Oh, he finds the brown eye, no problem. Oh, that's got a chance.
It went in, didn't it?
It went into Brown, so he gets 4 points for that. Now he takes the lead, even though he didn't hit the right target.
Why is he using a 4-iron? There's a hybrid back here.
He probably needs a driver to get it all the way out there. I think he was counting on the cement turf.
Yeah,
is what I think he was counting on. And that one's gotten no shot at anything.
It might kick left.
No.
Good bounce.
It's definitely not kicking left. Unless it hits a ball. If it hits a ball, maybe.
Speaking of that, did you see last week's tournament where the U.S. Open winner, Wyndham Clark, asked Justin Thomas to go mark his ball from 80 yards out?
No.
Yeah. No. He's like, hey, I need you to go mark your ball. It's in my way of the shot I'm playing.
Was he putting it?
No, it was a wedge.
Come on. Was that just a dick move? I mean...
No, they're friends, but kind of, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, now we're about to get destroyed because JD's jumping in, and he's about to go. Tyler, do not tell him how to win. So, yeah, we're playing the game now where you actually have to hit the actual targets.
Where you have 5 minutes.
Advanced mode. Somehow, Tyler... because he hit the one into the brown eye, just right in the middle of the center of that thing. He got so many points for that one shot. He beat me by 5 points. I usually
win.
You didn't hit a single white, did you?
No.
You jackass. And you still beat me. I don't even know how that's possible.
Well, just I'm accurate.
The 2 whites that I hit were I only got 5 points.
I mean, usually when you hit whites these days, you get, 100 points.
You get bonus points.
Yeah.
There he goes. Now he's doing what I did. He's hitting the outside, not quite the brown eye like you did, Tyler.
Yeah, I hit him pretty perfect.
No, you really didn't. You just hit one. You hit one perfect, and it was on a bounce, and that's what got you your points. That one right there. Now he's going to start killing us. He's figured it out.
Is the white out there worth more than the brown?
It's supposed to be, but when I hit the white, I only got 5 points on one. So I don't know why that was. I would have thought so, but I think it's because it rolled into the white.
Gotcha.
Instead of hit into the center. So
I can see there's a ring, obviously, in the center.
Yeah, there's if you look when it shows you when he hits in, you'll see a lot of his showing you where he hit it in the target. There's different rings, and when you're further in toward the center, you get more points. So
that's a nice draw. Are you on the blues?
No, he's on the blues, but he got a brown.
Oh, okay.
I'm feeling he might be buckling under the pressure here.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I'm all finished.
All I can say is JD better have a good short game. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think we put anything in there yet. Give us just a second.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it's all on him.
Yeah, no.
You want to hand me that, Tyler, and we can figure out how to do this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah.
I can always. Hey, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So, biggest reflection on our 4 years of podcasting. Go.
Just my superior knowledge to bourbon.
I would have to completely agree.
Yeah, I
You've
usually
gone from 0 to 1.
Whites.
You got to get the whites now.
Whites.
That's 165, I think. 185.
Oh, so it's like cricket almost.
Yeah.
And
100%.
Okay.
Cricket. Exactly like cricket.
No, that's in darts. Isn't that a type of game in
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I didn't know that,
I
so
thought
I
you were
was
talking
just
about
like,
the sport.
that is
No.
very odd thing to pull out for a comparison.
Well, when I lived in England, cricket was on TV nonstop.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, the
So
game
I thought
cricket.
that's what you were talking about. I was like, no.
Oh, it bounced over.
But in darts,
Yeah.
that's cricket, where you have to cross off the 20s and the
His
18s
shot hit
and all
right
that.
before and bounced all the way over.
But he got points because he went into the
net?
the 215 thing.
Oh, that's bullshit. I would have just fucking rocketed the entire time.
But he only got 9 points for it. Oh, you got 74 seconds to finish the game. You got 2 more shots in 70 seconds. No rush.
You need 5 points here.
Let's see how he would have done with my dad in the golf cart playing speed golf. All right, dude, you got to hurry up. No practice swings. We got to hurry up. We're falling behind. We got people pushing us.
That's a beautiful shot.
Yeah, but it's over. It's over.
I think that's good. That's
I
in.
can see it.
No.
Brett, what's your reflection?
Yes, 56 points. He won.
Now
he won pretty easily.
Retire.
Yeah. Oh, fuck us.
Yeah. My reflection is like learning my palate. You know what I mean? Like that's what I've enjoyed the most out of this is like learning my palate, learning what I truly like, what I don't like, what's hype. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like that guy came over. Oh, I like the Wellers. You know what I mean?
All right, let's wrap it up. What do you think?
I would say
getting into bourbon,
like
in general?
honestly, how approachable it's been. Because far too often, if you meet like the expert in the field,
how
it's
welcoming they are.
It's farly, or more often than not, it's the
Did you say farly?
Yes. Let me show you how much I know about this topic, and so that let's find your palate, let's find what's good, let's grow. That's been huge for me.
That's cool. I think for me, it's just the similar thing, how welcoming it's been from everywhere. Like everywhere we go, everyone we've talked to, distillers jumping on our podcast, like being completely open to teach you things, tell you things. Yeah. Other podcasters, Jason, for example, just coming in, adopting us, putting us under his wing, basically, and making us one of his. But just for me, it's like Jason always says, it's not about the bourbon, it's about the people. And for me, that couldn't be any, closer to the truth than that. I think to me, it's about hanging out with you guys. Like not to be, not to Tyler this up, but I really think it's more about hanging out with the people.
Yeah.
Now, Tyler this up means shit the bed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Catch you next week. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully you keep listening. We didn't lose you this week. Thank you for joining in for yet another episode of the Bourbon Hunters. If you like what you hear, please leave us a good rating on Apple, Podbean, Google, or wherever you are listening. It definitely helps us to get great guests on our show. And follow us on Instagram and the Facebooks to keep up to date with what is in our glass. As always, sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy some bourbon.